Do you have lateral elbow pain, like right here, that worsens with activities like exercising, gripping objects, typing, racket sports, or simply working with your hands? Then you're in the right spot, because in this video, we're gonna share with you a 5-exercise progression that's crazy effective at relieving tennis elbow. If you don't want the information and you just wanna dive into the exercises, just skip ahead to the stages of severity using the chapters below. So, what is tennis elbow? This name was coined because of the repetitive motion at the elbow that is commonly seen with tennis players, mainly during the backhand. But you definitely don't have to be a tennis player to have this diagnosis. In fact, only about 5% of people with tennis elbow actually play tennis. Go figure. Tennis elbow is tendinitis, and it's typically considered an overload injury due to repetitive load of the extensor muscles of the forearm. Now, tendons that are irritated or inflamed are usually aggravated more when either stretched or placed under strenuous load. It may sound contrary, but the key to rehabbing this condition and any other overuse injury really is to load the muscles and tendons involved. Let's explain why this is the answer, and then we'll go on to show you what to do. Overuse exercises typically occur when mechanical stress exceeds structural capacity. I like to explain it like this. Tissues have a specific range of tolerance. If we work low within this range, nothing really happens. But if we work close to the top of the range without exceeding its limits, strength gains occur. If we work beyond this range consistently, then tissue failure occurs. So why not just rest and wait for the pain to go away? That will only serve to make the muscles weaker, which lowers their capacity, makes them less capable of withstanding stress, thus making them more susceptible to load. So in the long run, it'll just make things worse. Depending on how severe your pain is, you might need to approach these exercises differently. I believe this is a fair way to simplify the levels of severity, with level 4 being the most severe. Level 1, minor pain that occurs sometime after the activity is completed. Level 2, pain at a later stage or immediately after activity is completed. Level 3, pain only during activity that increases more after activity is completed. And level 4, constant pain before, during, and after activity. Knowing these levels will help you start in the right place. Remember, we don't want to overload the tissues more, but we also don't want to underload them. Here is a simple 5-exercise progression that can help you get from square zero back to performing moderate level activities pain-free. The overall goal is progressive loading of the injured tissues, and we're shooting to progress to about 3 sets of 15 with no relapse in pain. First up, we're going to do wrist extension against resistance. You can use any kind of external load like a dumbbell, a resistance band, or even a can of soup. Start at a comfortable level though, even if it's just 1 pound. Start with your wrist in a neutral position and your arm relaxed on something. Take the weight up as far as comfortable and then slowly return to neutral. If this is too difficult, you can get rid of the weight altogether or use your other hand to help it up. If your elbow is super hot and bothered and the idea of pushing weight seems outrageous altogether, almost like you're in that 4th stage of severity, you can just do an isometric. The term isometric means that the muscle turns on, but the hand isn't going to move. The goal is to gently load the muscle while keeping the wrist in a comfortable position. Research has shown that this method of contraction can help with pain relief. You're basically going to resist something pressing against the back of your hand. This could be your hand, the bottom of your desk, or the back of your leg, really whatever. You don't need to push hard. Just do as much as is comfortable and no more, and then hold for about 30 seconds. If that's too long, don't worry. Just work with what you can and build up from there. There isn't a one-size-fits-all. But if this exercise is too easy and you can increase the load, you can also try to move outside of that neutral box and add some eccentrics, which takes us to our next exercise. For the eccentric wrist extension, the setup is the same, only you want your wrist to be on the edge of whatever surface you're using. Lift the wrist upwards against that resistance and slowly lower it as far down as it can go comfortably. Eccentrics are a really good way to lengthen a muscle against load. This is one of the reasons we don't offer up a ton of stretches. Eccentrics give you a solid bang for your buck, mobility and strength packaged in one movement. Another way to perform an eccentric is with the Tyler twist. You'll need one of these doohickeys though. They're called flex bars and there's plenty of brands out there, but we'll drop a couple links below for the ones that we've used and recommend to our patients. Start by holding the bottom of the flex bar thumb side up with the wrist you want to work. Make sure your wrist is fully extended. Next, take the other hand and grab the top of the flex bar, thumb side down. Now, with the top hand, you want to wind the bar by flexing your wrist. Turn both of your palms down and slowly unwind the bar with the wrist you want to work. Rinse and repeat. The next exercise will introduce those tissues to a different plane of movement. We're going to do supination and pronation, which simply means flipping your palm up and down. It's easiest to just use a hammer or even a light dumbbell, something that's laying around your house. Just a note though, the further your hand is from the load, the harder the exercise. So to regress, just move your hand closer to the weight. You'll be in the same position as with wrist extension, with your forearm rested on something. Starting with your thumb side up, rotate your palm down slowly as far as it will go, and then rotate it back to the start position. If you don't have a weight or a hammer, but you have some TheraBand, you can also use that as well by just anchoring the band into the door. The last exercise is pretty tough, and I would say is reserved for those in the later stages of rehab, and truthfully for people with a little bit higher physical demands. If you're just getting pain with typing or very light household activities, you probably really don't need this. Also, if you're in that fourth or third category of severity, stick to the others for now. And if you've got some shoulder issues or anything like that, then you might want to hold off on this as well. Trust me, if you're not ready for this, then you're just going to do yourself a disservice. I don't really have a name for it, but we're just going to call it bar rolls. To start, you'll need to rig up something like this. You can use a dowel rod or some 1/2-inch PVC pipe, and you just need to attach a weight via some string. Start with the lowest weight possible, like a pound. Seriously, even 2.5 pounds can be a lot of weight. Once you've rigged it up, roll the weight all the way to the top. Next, grab onto the bar and stick your arms straight out, keeping your elbows straight, and slowly unravel the load with control. Don't just let it slide down. Again, you can just focus on the eccentric phase by wrapping the string up in an offloaded position and then focusing on the unraveling part. With this one, I usually tell people to stop at muscle fatigue. A good rule of thumb regarding pain to follow when loading tendon pathologies is this. With exercise, continue if either pain increases to a tolerable level during loading and then improves with repetition, pain remains at baseline throughout the exercise, or more obviously, if pain improves throughout the entire exercise. Stop and regress if pain increases to a non-tolerable level. No matter what, you're probably just making things worse. Or number 2, pain increases to a tolerable level, but does not return to baseline even hours after loading. So there you have it. 5 exercises that can help you improve your tennis elbow symptoms, improve function, and kickstart an advanced exercise program that'll help you return to 100%. If this video was helpful, we invite you to subscribe and share. Also, please tap that like button so that we can continue to grow our channel. If you have any recommendations for a future video, please also drop those in the comments below and we'll give them a quick reply. We'll see you